Israeli army orders fresh evacuations in Gaza as fighting continues.
Japan develops new method to treat SARS-CoV-2 virus.
Prime Minister requests to speed up progress of key projects.
Welcome to today's news. My name is Nguyễn Thị and I will be your guide through today's latest update. The Israeli army has recently issued new evacuation orders in the southern and central Gaza Strip, where were previously marked as humanitarian safe zones.
The areas are being used by Hamas militants as bases to fire mortars and rockets into Israel, according to the Israeli military. Warning leaflets and text messages have been sent to warn tens of thousands of people sheltering in Gaza to stay away from the fight. Negotiators in Doha are set to meet for the second day to try to reach a deal to end fighting in Gaza and return Israeli and foreign hostages home. Hamas did not send a representative on the first day of talks. In a joint statement on August 16, the United States, Qatar and Egypt said Washington had presented a new proposal based on points agreed upon over the past week, narrowing the gap between the sides in a way that could allow for a quick implementation of a deal.
On August 16, Japan announced that it had developed immune cells using human-derived embryonic stem cells to treat SARS-CoV-2 virus infection.
The Japanese team planned to conduct a 3-year clinical trial on immunocompromised patients with chemotherapy-induced immune deficiency and severe COVID-19 symptoms. The killer T cells will be created to reduce the risk of being rejected by patients and carrying genes that function as sensors to detect proteins specific to the new SARS-CoV-2 virus. When the developed cells were cultured with newly infected cells, about 90% of the virus cells died after 12 hours. The new treatment will be effective for immunocompromised patients. The Japanese researchers have filed for a patent application.
Vietnamese Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has just signed an official dispatch directing to speed up the progress of site clearance for important national projects and key transport projects.
For projects scheduled to be completed in 2025, the Prime Minister requested localities to speed up the completion of resettlement areas, the relocation of high-voltage power lines, the completion of site clearance work to handover of the entire site to projects by August 30, 2024. For the remaining projects, the Prime Minister requested localities to speed up the completion of resettlement areas, the relocation of high-voltage power lines, the completion of site clearance work to handover of the entire site to projects in 2024. The Prime Minister requested relevant agencies, units and localities to urgently carry out these above tasks in time.
Coming up are some updated news.
Recently, the chairman of the People's Committee of Gay in Province issued a telegram to respond to the risk of floods, landslides, flash floods in the coming time. The telegram clearly stated that, in order to proactively respond to possible floods in the near future, the Provincial Steering Committee for Natural Disaster Prevention, Search and Rescue and Civil Defense, directors of departments, heads of sectors and organizations, chairmen of people's committees of districts, city and towns must not be negligent, subjective, or lose vigilance, but closely monitor the development of natural disasters, proactively direct and deploy response work according to their authority, ensuring timeliness, effectiveness, and closeness to the natural disaster situation in the area. In cases the situation is beyond the capacity of the districts, they should promptly report to the competent authorities for support in accordance with regulations.
After nearly a month of postponement, the political art program, Parallel 17 Desire for Peace, took place last night at the Hinh Luang Relic Site, Vinh Linh District, Quang Tri Province. It consisted of two main parts, the ceremony and the political art program. The audience was able to return to the years when Vinh Linh people hid underground to live and fight, as well as to see the image of Quang Tri's renovation, with great efforts to become a new tourist destination, a bright spot in the economy. This special event attracted the participation of more than 500 actors, including about 300 extras who were local people.
Today, August 17th, universities across the country began to announce the official admission scores and lists of successful candidates. After the official admission results are available, all successful candidates must confirm their admission online on the Ministry of Education and Training's admission system. The online admission confirmation period begins on August 20th and will end at 5 p.m. on August 27th. Depending on the specific announcement schedule of each school, candidates will go to the school to complete the admission procedures directly after successfully confirming their admission. Universities note that the candidates must prepare all necessary documents when coming to the school to complete the admission procedures in accordance with the pre-registration method they have previously registered for.
From a ritual with strong Buddhist feature, Lan Festival, the day of filial piety gradually became a beautiful feature in the culture and consciousness of Vietnamese people, generation to generation.
Lan Festival is a time to remind people of filial piety and gratitude. While some people express their filial piety by wishing their parents happiness and peace, others express it through concrete actions in everyday life.
The most special activity of Lan Festival is pinning a rose on the parents' shirts. This is an opportunity to express our gratitude for their giving birth and upbringing.
All members of my family have the same thought that, as long as my father is alive, we are happy. I just hope my father wakes up.
In today's modern life, due to geographical distance, generation gap, differences in thinking or busy life, somehow and somewhere children pay little attention to their parents. However, filial piety is always present in everyone's mind. Even if life changes, filial piety remains unchanged.
My mother has to undergo dialysis, so there are certain difficulties. But thanks to everyone's encouragement, we can easily overcome those difficulties.
It can be said that Lan Festival is always a good occasion for people to turn to their roots, taking filial acts to show gratitude to grandparents, parents, who have worked hard and sacrificed their whole lives for their children and grandchildren. And filial piety is always the reason for living, the morality and the bond that connects emotions, supports the spirit and helps people overcome all difficulties and obstacles in life.
It's time to say goodbye. Thank you for watching and see you next time.